What's up, guys? Thank you for watching. If you saw the title, you know that we're going to be shooting cinder blocks today, and I have a bunch of different guns out here, and basically we're just going to shoot different calibers at these cinder blocks and see what they do. So there's a couple different ways we could do this, either long ways like I have mine set up, or sideways on the block like that. I think for the sake of the video, I'm going to start with them long ways because they have these little sections along the top of the block that will let us count how many layers each caliber makes it through. And then maybe towards the end we will shoot some sideways with some of the bigger guns and see what they do. But I'm going to start with smaller calibers and work my way up as we go and see what these bullets can do to these concrete cinder blocks. So let's get started. All right, we're going to start with the 9mm full metal jacket out of my Glock 17. And there's the hole from our 9mm. You can see it made pretty much a perfect hole in that cinder block, and might be kind of hard to see because of the shadow, but the 9 did not go any further than that first layer. Here's our bullet right here. And you can see it's obviously deformed quite a bit, but it didn't really break apart or anything, stayed intact, and just mushroomed out when it hit that cinder block. All right, next up, 45 ACP out of a 1911. Now, I don't think I've shown you guys this gun on the channel. This is a World War II 1911, and it says property of the United States military on the frame. And 1911s always have really good triggers, but this one's had work done on it, so it's even nicer than a normal 1911. I love shooting this gun. And our 45 ACP went in right there, and once again, did not make it past the first layer. Here's our bullet right there. And a little bit of that jacket did come off, but once again the bullet just pretty much flattened out and stayed intact. All right, now we're going to shoot the 44 Magnum out of the Desert Eagle. And there's the massive hole that our 44 Magnum left in the front of that cinder block. It even took out a chunk from the top of the block as well. But once again, like the rest of the pistols that we've shot, did not make it past that first layer. Now this bullet did kind of break apart a little bit more. There's some more pieces of the jacket in there, but you can see that bullet there, it did fragment and break apart a little bit more than our 9mm and our 45 ACP did. All right, now we're moving on to the rifles, and we're going to start with the 5.56 out of my Bravo Company AR15. Now, I would say that I think this one will go further than our pistol rounds, but from what I've heard, the 5.56 is going so fast that it tends to break apart when it hits stuff. So I'm not really sure. I think it'll make it through the second layer, but probably not any further than that. Whew, I got peppered like crazy with that cinder block. All right, there's the hole from our 5.56. You can see it damaged that block quite a bit, and once again cracked it along the front. And I hope you guys can see in there, but it doesn't look like it made it through the second layer, but it did take a chunk of concrete out of that side and out of the back side. So it definitely looks like it hit that second layer pretty hard, and it looks like this bullet basically disintegrated because I can't find any bullet fragments or anything inside of there. So, all right, so I moved the camera back a little bit. I got hit pretty hard with some pieces of cinder block on that last one that I shot. And next we're gonna shoot the 5.45 by 39 out of my Arsenal AK-74. Alright, so the AK-74 was pretty similar to the AR-15, which is what I expected. You can see the entrance hole there and some damage on the front side of that second layer. And on the back side of the second layer, you can see a big crack where it looks like that concrete was pretty close to coming off there as well. So once again, still haven't had anything make it through the second layer, and I do not see a lot of that bullet in there. I do see a piece of the copper jacket right there, but I think that bullet pretty much broke apart when it hit that second layer. All right, we're moving up in caliber, so I'm stepping back even farther. Next up, we're gonna shoot the 7.62 by 39 incendiary round out of my AK-47. Alright guys, this is a big difference from the last two rifles that we shot. So you can see the entrance hole there, and took a huge crack out of the front of that cinder block as well. And the second layer looks pretty similar. Looks like the bullet ripped right through there and broke the concrete all around it. Now the third layer, it doesn't look like the bullet made it through that, but it did hit it pretty hard. And I'll look around and see if I can find that bullet. It doesn't look like there's any big pieces of the bullet in there, but it's not surprising if it broke apart, considering what it did to that cinder block. All right guys, the final round we're gonna shoot is the 308 out of the Scar 17. See how it does. Alright, so the 308 is pretty similar to the AK-47 round. Did a little bit more damage, but not a whole lot. You can see the big hole that the bullet made right there, and just completely destroyed that second panel and cracked the third layer as well. Now, once again, I don't think that the bullet made it past that third layer. It might have actually hit that third layer and either bounced off or kind of broke apart. I don't see too much of the bullet. It looks like that might be a piece of the jacket there, but other than that, I'm sure that bullet probably broke apart quite a bit, and you can see the 308 did quite a bit of damage to that cinder block there. Alright guys, so before we go, I want to do one more thing. I made a wall out of these cinder blocks, and on the other side of that wall I have a Halloween pumpkin. And what I want to do is shoot some of these rifle calibers at this wall and see how many rounds it takes to get through and destroy our evil Halloween pumpkin on the other side. Alright, we're going to start with the AR-15. All right, so I took a pretty big chunk out of the front of that wall, and we definitely made it through. It looks like probably 90% of my rounds missed that pumpkin, but we did hit it with a few of those. And I watched the GoPro footage back, and it looked like it took the AR-15 probably 3 or 4 rounds to make it through that wall, and then all the rest of them were going straight through. All right, let's try the AK-47. Alright guys, there's the damage from the AK-47 and our pumpkin on the backside. Now when I watched the GoPro footage on this one, it looked like at the most it took 2 rounds. Probably the very first round made it all the way through, but the second round definitely made it through and hit our pumpkin. And we're going to end with the 308 out of the Scar 17. Alright, so the Scar completely took out the left side of that wall and pretty much destroyed our cinder blocks and definitely got to our pumpkin. When I watched the GoPro, it looked like it took at the most 2 or 3 shots for the 308 as well. So pretty similar to the AK-47, and I wouldn't want to be behind a cinder block wall getting shot at with any of these rifles. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun to make, and hopefully it was a lot of fun to watch. If you have any other ideas of stuff like this you would like to see, just let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up for me. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.